Let's quickly talk about the Saturday night game on NBC, called by our colleagues Mike Tirico and Tony Dungy. And to me, this is the most fascinating matchup of the weekend, quite frankly, because you've got Tom Brady playing at the top of his game, age 43, for the Bucs, who all season long we're wondering, when is the offense going to look like what we're expecting it to? And you could say about taking on Atlanta twice and Detroit, and that's what Brady and the offense should have looked like. But a lot of these shoulda games didn't look like that way for the Bucs all year long. And then here comes the Washington football team, and the guy who's going to be trying to one-and-done Tom Brady is a unicorn of a beast, interestingly enough, from Ohio State with Michigan at the quarterback position, in Chase Young, who basically said, bring him on. And I can't wait for it, and I think this is going to be highly competitive. And I'm wondering what you think of this matchup, Chris.
I think it's going to be really interesting. And while the focal point is going to be Tom Brady and the Washington defensive line, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, those guys are fantastic. But they do it with a four-man rush. Basically they're going to come, our guys are better than your guys, and we're going to try and cover it up on the back end. And there's a lot to cover up on the back end, whether Mike Evans plays or not. This is a good bunch. And I think Gronkowski took a while to get his feet underneath him early in the season. He had a bad shoulder. He wasn't blocking the way that he had been and for the most part of his career, but he's getting healthy. Antonio Brown's been hot. He's just been hot. Godwin's starting to get going here a little bit. We know about Evans and hopefully, Scotty Miller. So this is a bunch that can do quite a bit. But for me, the more interesting side of the ball right now is Alex Smith and what the Tampa Bay Bucs will do defensively. Todd Bowles and his guys over there. If you watched the Green Bay game earlier this year, Green Bay jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and basically the Buccaneers blitzed them into submission. I've never seen the Packers struggle against a blitz like that. And Alex Smith, we saw it in the game last week that, he's still really struggling with that calf injury, a guy that used to be able to move around so well. And, of course, all the 17 surgeries and all that kind of stuff. So I'm 99.9% positive that they're going to be blitzing him to try and move him off the spot. We saw the impact that it had in that game a week ago. And if mobility becomes a factor, do we end up seeing Taylor Heineke? That's the X factor for me in this game, and how healthy Terry McLaurin is. McLaurin had a touchdown last week, but I think he was still struggling on that ankle a little bit. So maybe he's a week healthier than that. So we shall see.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.